everyone, this is Sarita in Switzerland, and I hope the topic way before holidays is anybody will end up happening that way. I hope all of you are having a great Christmas and a great holiday as much as I am, and I'm just going to try my very best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Topic I'm going to go ahead and talk about is on the topic of gun safety. And here, when I heard about what happened with the shooting with the kids, I was very angry. Very angry. But knowing the things that I know and how I am, I decided to go ahead and wait and hold my tongue until I was not so much angry and flustered about it, so I can think about it very clearly. What I'm doing right now with my phone, if you want to see, is I'm trying to make sure it doesn't keep on popping off, so when we're talking, you can hear me very clearly. So there we go. Now that that's put on that, okay, now, okay. I can tell that the automatic face detector thingy on my cyber camera thing is not necessarily working the best way I want it to do. Seems to zoom in too close, and I don't like things zoomed really close to kind of bugs a little crap out of it. There we go. Much better. Now for manual. Thank you. Okay, sorry. Okay, back to what I was talking about. Okay. So, when it came to gun safety, I've been seeing everyone freaking out about a proposal of gun safety, and if it is in a second hand, to bear arms, and yes, it was true back then. That was the only way we could bear arms. But then people believe that guns cause them a problem. So I've been thinking about it, and this is what I think is fair for both ends. But I believe that the Constitution and the amendments that they extended by some of our forefathers are our rights, and we shouldn't limit our rights or take anything from that Constitution and take it away from us, whether we agree with bearing arms or disagreeing with it. The moment we start messing with the Constitution, I believe it's going to cause us a lot more headaches and grief and problems down the line versus if we just leave it as is. That's my first thing. So we should never mess with the Constitution for the amendments that we have there. Now, with that said, there's nothing wrong with things change, times change, and our forefathers did this as well. What happened necessarily back then was best in the back then. But what happens now is not necessarily applies to us now. That's the whole reason why our democracy was built on the sense of voting, a Congress was the only one who can make changes to the rules, and a president. So if we have those bases, just in case the things that are not acceptable now can be changed or a little bit modified or altered. Okay, that said, our forefathers did think ahead. Now, so here is what I think is a realistic approach and an ideal proposal in gun safety. Those who own guns say they have guns in the sense to protecting their families. And that would protect their families. Right. And under that simple notion that if you have a weapon, a concealed weapon, to protect your family, then you have no problem in regards to what I'm saying about how to obtain one and how to own one in the sense of protecting your family. so much of the people who own guns or have guns. It's the negligence of the people who either don't put their guns away in a proper position or not really comprehending the whole idea behind having a weapon. So I believe we should be a little bit more stricter in that sense. If you make something such of a hassle for a person to get it, and if they still want to get it at the very end, then by all means, they deserve to have a gun. They understand what the responsibility is on it. And if they spend all that time and all that money to go ahead and still try to bear arms and have one, I believe that they'll be more conscious and not leaving things around. Okay? So with that said, here's my proposal. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little dialogue after everything, so if you can't hear exactly what I'm saying, you can read along in the blog. Okay. After clearing my head, and I process how I feel after long thinking, here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts on about the horrible death and not taking guns away from owners or promoting others to go ahead and buy guns. Okay, I'm not going to, we have to take guns from people who have guns, nor am I going to promote other people to want to have guns. No. Alright? Simply put, people who own guns must own up to the responsibility of owning a gun. Don't point the finger at everybody else. If you have a gun, it's your responsibility to own it. That's one. Alright? And the best way to own responsibility is through full gun education. Going back to educating. Now, if you were educated on the history of the gun, you'll know that you have to have clearance on that. To the safety of guns. How to keep them safe at all times. And if you can honestly be safe with yourself that if you're forgetful or forget things, then you shouldn't be having a gun. They're not toys. You have to really understand that. You need to be certified. I believe you should be certified in the history, certified in the safety, and also be certified in the mechanics of the gun. You know how a gun is built, how it fires, how it shoots. So that way you can't only have mistriggers. Okay? And, of course, the cons of having a gun. You need to be realistic how much more cons there are with having a gun than actually having one. Maybe that's another reason you need to have one. Alright, and etc. It goes on. And I believe anything else that history has to do with guns, that's what you should be studying, and that's what you should learn in all aspects of the gun. Next up, I believe that's what you do. After you've got the history, the background, and your ins and outs, and you can smell it and own it and you properly it. I believe the next certification you should go ahead and do is be defense training. In defense training, you learn how to disarm a gun from a predator who's an enemy or someone who wants to do you harm. So learn how to disarm in the defense of a gun if someone has approached you. Because realistically, if your gun is locked up and put away in a drawer and everything, and a burglar comes randomly in the middle of the night, I doubt the fact that if you're sleeping, you're going to have the keys right on you, or have the keys on the nightstand. There might be somebody's kitchen before you disarm that gun. So, in that sense, when it comes to a gun, if you know how to disarm an owner or disarm the user, and if you think they can come to your brain or somewhere saying, you can hide in the dark, wait for their things, and you can disarm the gun without having to hurt anyone in your family. So therefore, pretty much your enemy is going to be nice enough to bring in weapons for you to disarm them. But when you disarm them, you have a little means to protect yourself. This one. Okay, two. I believe that the next step after you learn how to disarm a gun, and everyone in your family members learn how to disarm a gun. If you're going to choose to do this, I think the whole family should be on board. Okay? The next step of verification is a mental evaluation of the entire household. It's not just about you having a gun. It's about your whole family being around with you with your weapon. If they don't understand the education of the gun, and they don't have the thing, they won't take it seriously. They think it's a toy or a thing to be used. But if they're just as educated, it's just as you, the entire family, they're going to know the awarenesses of the gun and understand the gun. And since the gun is for the protection of the entire family, this is what you're saying, there should be no problem for that entire family to get mentally evaluated. And that should be certification. Because when the whole family knows, then you guys are all in the same boat, and you guys are not missing one. And that's another one. Alright? And I think all these things I just said should be certified before you own a gun. Now, after that, you're really wanting to do it, and you have that, then by all means, the whole family understands the whole point of being, you guys are all educated, you guys know it's not a toy, then you guys all realize the concept that because guns are not toys. And every single family member understands they're not toys. It should be the last thing you should ever use in any circumstance whatsoever. Okay. Now, comes with my opinion. The people are the ones who need to be control of the people. I understand that. Not corrupted, self-minded, closed-interest fools who are concerned more about staying in power and staying in power. And then regarding to the incident that happened, that child should have never been able to obtain a gun. And what did we find out? It was because someone left their gun not concealed in another chest. They didn't conceal it, they didn't find it, they didn't close it, they just left it there. That's like a poor thing, not Congress telling them, that's people's problem. Okay? So, please cease with the propaganda and the BS. When people are so wound up in emotions, they just want action now and they don't think about the consequences of everything. You don't want more of your rights to be taken away. You want to have as much rights as possible. And that's that thing. Okay? So that's why I say please see through the propaganda. You don't want other people to invoking the fear because you're upset. And you're just going to think you're off sorry with saying bullshit. There already has been regulations in clearing out backgrounds entirely before the purchasing the arm and equipment as well as the completion of gun safety. That has already been prior. But there hasn't been anything establishing the whole family needs to do it. Nothing like this proves to us that maybe the whole family needs to understand that by means go ahead. There's no way, any way, that a person with an mental illness or any kind of issue should actually obtain a gun. It's been like that for a long time. Honestly. We as the people must think and act for ourselves and act as individuals and everything. Don't let our emotions define our actions. Be rational and sensible and making the choices. Being rational and sensible is a better choice than making a foolish choice. So please understand that. The ends will always justify the means, and the means will always justify the ends. This country is based on the people with different ideas. We don't want to see one side right versus the other side being wrong. It's not about that. You want to come to a fair agreement for both sides. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, like I said, I haven't done anything in the last 2 days in the holidays. Like I said, I had to really clear my head to fully process out how I was feeling and let go of any emotions that I was feeling, and then rest, and then I was able to clear my mind, and then now I go away and talk about the subject. I did not ignore it. I was just really upset. And I just because someone doesn't, they want to invoke being insane. I'm not saying, I don't know whether the person was insane or not, but they just want to say that they're crazy. And at first they were trying to say that he was bipolar and stuff like that. And that really, really pissed me off. Just because a person is bipolar does not mean that a person that is bipolar is going to be a maniac and killing off everybody. That pissed me off. People do things for other reasons, not just because they say, oh, they're bipolar. So I had to calm down for that. Okay. With that said, I said this. If a person lacks the common sense and lacks the humble, honesty, honorable personality, and being well-being, not just for themselves, but for their family and the general public, in decisions, and lacks the ability to control their emotions, they should not have, own, or possess a gun. Simply put, if you have a strong temper, maybe you shouldn't own a gun. If you think the resolution is to solve yourself owning a gun, maybe you shouldn't have a gun. Because when you get emotionally, or if you're a person that's driven by their emotions and does actions before they think about it, maybe you shouldn't have a gun either. Because you're going to do things that you shouldn't do when you're more of a rational head mind thinking. Guns, I'm going to say again, are not toys. They should be the very last use of survival and are not the first thing people should use for survival. People should prepare themselves to disarm a gun, not the urge to have a gun. When you know how to do this, your threat is kindly enough to bring the tool you need if a false situation, if you have to, that's the only scenario, have to use that gun as a result. I have solved a lot of my threats with my words, the use of my words, or at the most, if I ever had to, which is very limited, with my own fists. Never have I ever once had to use a gun. So that's my personal opinion. I believe in more defense and disarm than I believe in actually having one. And considering the fact that I know I have a temper, I will not have a gun in my household. So people, I hope this helps, and I hope you guys can rational decisions. So remember, think for ourselves, and don't let others think for us. If you can be honest with yourself and honest with others, I think everything can work out for a solution. I think nowadays more than ever, we should have clearances just for the individual, but the whole household. And that's my proposal. Education through all the senses impossible, defense, gun control, and psych evaluation of the entire family. Well, that's my opinion. I hope you happy holidays, and this is my Sarita. Say goodbye. Have a great day. And that's my idea of a gun safety on a realistic